What do you guys have to do to slow down Aaron Rodgers?
To slow him down, it really comes down to executing our defense to exactly the way it is taught. Aaron does a great job off schedule. He creates plays, and so for us, it's executing as long as the plays is going. So it's whistle to whistle, and making sure that we're extremely disciplined in our coverages.
I mean, I don't know if this is the case in that first play of the game against the Cardinals, but do you really have to stress to your guys that when things are going not good and they want to generate turnovers, they want to make big plays, that they still have to just stay to their responsibility and not step outside their bounds?
100%. When people feel like they need to do more than what they're being asked to do, that's when bad things actually happen. And right now, that first play, and AC will tell you he'd love to have that play back, but the way they responded after that play and the way they came out and played and executed the defense all the way through, I thought was really good on their part to remain composed and to continue to fight all the way through the game. And I thought they did the defensive guys did a great job responding for sure.
Your defense has been put in some tough situations with turnovers, but it still ranks 11th in yards allowed and a little bit better in yards per play allowed. How do you feel your defense has performed so far?
You know, there's always going to be good. There's always going to be bad, all the way across the board. And just the way I look at it, felt like we came out in Minnesota and we played a good game. And against Detroit, I felt like we played very well, with the exception of 2 very long third downs that we allowed, starting on that 3rd and 17. Did not do well in that first half of Kansas City. Bounced back and played well. The Chargers game, battling Phillip Rivers. Thought that game had a bunch of ups and downs, but overall felt like we did a really nice job giving ourselves a chance to win. And then, of course, last game took that first punch in the mouth, but responded and were able to clamp down the rest of the game. So there's been ups and downs. Overall, obviously, we could do a lot better. There's a lot of things we're doing well. And the most important thing is to continue to preach, get better at your techniques, get better at your assignments, get better at all the things that we teach, and trust the entire process that we go through week to week, and trust that if we do exactly what we're supposed to do, 100 miles an hour, all the way through the week, that the result will take care of itself. So obviously there's things that we're doing good, but we could be a lot better also.
Lack of takeaways, I assume, is one of the things you guys need to be better at. What goes into improving in that respect?
You know, we've had our opportunities this year. There's an old cliche saying that catch the ones that are thrown to you. And we've had our opportunities, especially early in the year, where I think we've dropped about 3 or 4 interceptions this year, and we've gotten the ball out. We're taking shots at the ball. There's great intent, and takeaways come in bunches. They do. They if I'm not mistaken, Arizona hadn't really generated many takeaways, and then all of a sudden, boom, they get 5. And it's sometimes it's just the way the ball bounces and the way it goes for you. So for us to continue to preach it. But as long as we keep working with the intent that we have with regards to attacking the ball, every opportunity we get, again, you trust the result. But I know it's a result-oriented business, but the result is a product of the process that you go through within every play, within every day. So if we keep attacking the ball the way we have, and the D-line keeps pressing the pocket and getting after the quarterback, I'm very confident that eventually they'll come.
And last year, one of the big themes was you were happy with the press in the pocket, but there was something left to be desired about containing. How have you evaluated the progress, if there has been any, in that regard this year?
It's got to get better for sure. We do a good job pushing the pocket, getting the quarterback to move, and we got to get them down. I don't want to say we're wasting effort, but we do a very good job up front of being responsible in our rush lanes, pushing the pocket. Guys are winning one-on-ones. And now it's about finishing. And it is stressed every day, and Skanina and Kiffin do a very good job with the entire pass rush scheme and all that stuff. And the guys up front are doing a very good job taking all that coaching and applying it to the best they can. And again, it's something that I trust will eventually happen, so long as we stick to the process and the deliberateness at which you're working.
Mike McCarthy was talking about your defense yesterday on the conference call, and he said that the base defense is a lot like what Seattle does, but your third down package is totally different. he didn't get into specifics. I'm not asking you specifics, but are you making adjustments to better suit your personnel, put them in better positions to succeed, or what's the thinking?
So we're always challenging ourselves to find ways to make the quarterback uncomfortable. You'd love to sit there and play normal coverage every single down and just rush forward and whatever it is, but as coaches, we challenge ourselves every day to find a way to confuse a quarterback just a little bit. And third down is a time where we feel like we can, but at the same time, we don't want to trick our players. So there's a fine balance. I'm not sure what Seattle's doing. I haven't watched those guys in a while, but without getting into too much scheme, it's every down really is a challenge for us to try to find one-on-ones, create one-on-ones, create opportunities for guys to go make plays. And so if it comes off different, it comes off different, but I haven't watched him to be able to tell you one way or the other.
What's your evaluation of Solomon Thomas at this point, and what goes into balancing exactly where he plays on the line, just given the fact that it seems like dating back to college he was better on the inside, and I think the numbers reflect that he was better on the inside last year too. Just where are you at with him and finding that balance?
So again, it's about getting opportunities to rush the passer. That's the whole thing. When it's a rundown, not that he can't do it, but to put him in there to take on double teams, to take on 600 pounds of people, to where it's very, very bruising in there. To subject them to that for the sake of trying to get a pass rush, that's probably play fake anyway. I don't know if that would be the smartest thing in the world. So he's still on rundowns to us is a very good run edge defender. But when it comes to pass opportunities, which we had a great plan going into that Cardinals game to try to get more opportunities for them to rush inside, but it came down to third down again. So when he does get those third down opportunities, that's where they show up, or 2-minute, where it's an obvious passing situation where he can get inside, and you're talking about 15 to 20 reps a game if the situation presents itself. But again, it all comes back to us too, where can we get those guys into obvious passing situations in a normal down? So it's 1st and 10 or 2nd 11 after whatever play, after a negative play, where you just feel like the offense is about to throw, and you can go take a shot with smaller guys in the football field. But all that goes with the flow of the game and just having opportunities to do it.
Is Richard Sherman so embedded on the left side where you wouldn't want to move him and have him shadow Devontae Adams all game?
So there's different philosophies. When you start trying to mirror, there's philosophies for that, and there's philosophies for what we do with left and right. We believe in doing the same thing technique-wise, and they say it takes 10,000 reps to master a technique or a sport or a skill, 10,000 hours. And it applies to the whole philosophy of left and right. They do the same thing. It's your crack replace angles come from the left side, and so how many reps can he get from crack replace on the left side? How many reps can he get with his man-to-man technique where he's opening up and running the exact same way, turning and looking for the ball the exact same way? All those reps count. And when you start splitting left and right and you start splitting reps, now you're just becoming a jack of all trades, master of none in our scheme. And so it's great in theory, but the reality is a player will be better if they can just get as many reps as they can doing the same thing over and over again.
Speaking of Sherman, his numbers on some of the public scouting services are off the charts this year. Is he playing that well? He's
doing very well. He is. Sherm has always won because he is just so much smarter than the man in front of him, and it's not even close. His football IQ, when he's on the football field and things are happening, is above anything that any player I've ever coached, and because of that, he's able to put himself in position to succeed. And he is getting his legs back, and that's the best part about it, is that when his legs are there and his mind is there, he is one of the best in the league, like he's been his entire career. So he's getting to that point, and we're glad we have him.
Can you trust him to tell you how healthy he is, and if he's not at 100%, maybe not where he should be for a game, or is he a guy that he's going to tell you he's fine, and you kind of have to read between the lines?
I don't trust him when he tells me he's hurt. He's going to go. So if Sherm says he can go, he can go. And he'll go out there with one leg if he has to. So when it comes to injuries, I defer to him and the training staff and all that stuff. But if he can go, if he can walk, he's going.
How's Tavarius Moore developing, and would you like to get him some playing time soon?
Eventually. He's doing a very good job. He's got to show it in practice every day. You got great timing on your questions because we just talked to him yesterday and had him in there. And the whole thing with him is showing the entire organization that he can do it by what he puts out on tape on scout team. And it starts there. And he could be a robot and do what the card says, or he can be a football player and be deliberate in his technique and do everything that we do technically while giving the offense the look that they need. And so as soon as he starts doing that, then we can transfer over to some of our reps on defense. And then from there, if he can show that, then he can get up to playing time.
What about Julian Taylor? How's he developing?
Same thing. It's the same thing. And Julian's been doing a good job. He's getting his legs back underneath him, and he's inching closer.
Both Kyle and John have spoken openly about how aggressive the team was trying to get Khalil Mack. Obviously, a lot of teams would like to get Khalil Mack. But, I mean, it sounded like it was a very competitive offer, and the offer was, for quite a bit. Could you just speak to, obviously, the need for that type of dynamic player, and maybe is that kind of a missing ingredient right now?
John and Kyle, Martin, Adam, they work tirelessly and relentlessly to give every position every opportunity to be as successful as they can. I mean, no stone goes left unturned. They do an unbelievable job in that regard. And they've sometimes you swing, sometimes you miss, sometimes you swing and the ball goes out of the park. Obviously, everyone would love to have a Khalil Mack. That's without saying. But the guys we have been getting better every day, and they've got to continue to get better. And the bottom line is that's a production league, and so we can be a bunch of try-hard guys if we want, but we still have to find a way to produce. And the men that we have in our building, we're very confident in. And it is a young group, but at the same time, it's a young group that continues to get better, and they've taken every challenge that they've had so far and works with the first 5 weeks of the season, and they've responded pretty good. They've been punched in the mouth, and they've responded. The Detroit game, they got punched in the mouth, and we still had to line up on that last drive of the game and get off the field. So it's a young group. They're learning every day, and we're very confident in the group that we have for sure.
DeForest, how are you seeing teams game plan against him, and has he improved at all in just kind of overcoming some of those double teams in some of those different ways?
Defo, he plays his butt off, man, and he gets one-on-ones, and he does a good job. He obviously teams pay a lot of attention to him, and that's where, as a group, we all got to step up. If someone becomes a problem, other than to an offense, it's just going to open up one-on-ones for a lot more people. So Buck is doing well. Obviously, he wants production, but he knows that he's producing in other ways, and he's doing a lot of different things that help out this defense. So he's definitely something that teams have to deal with.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.